Making $60,000 a year used to mean you had made it. It was the solid, middle-class finish line. You bought a house, took a vacation every summer, and actually put money away for retirement. But if you're making 60 grand today, you already know the truth. That finish line was moved, and nobody bothered to tell you. Let's look at exactly what happened to the $60,000 paycheck. If you look at the raw numbers, $60,000 is still slightly above the median individual income in America. By all traditional metrics, you are doing fine. You aren't rich, but you shouldn't be stressing every time you swipe your card at the grocery store. Yet, if you look at the comments on any personal finance board, or just talk to your neighbors, the anxiety is deafening. You make a good salary, but the moment the paycheck hits your account, it vanishes. Rent takes a massive bite. The car payment takes another. Health insurance, student loans, and suddenly a basket of basic groceries feels like a luxury purchase. This isn't just you being bad with money. This is a structural shift in the American economy. The baseline cost of simply existing has quietly outpaced the very definition of a good wage. We are living through an era where making a solidly middle-class income somehow leaves you living paycheck to paycheck. You aren't crazy for feeling like the math doesn't work anymore. The math is broken. And to fix it, we have to understand exactly how it broke. Let's start by peeling back the first layer. The illusion of the gross number. When you get hired for $60,000, that's not what you take home. After federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security, and Medicare, your actual take-home pay is closer to $48,000. If you contribute to health insurance and a basic retirement plan, you are likely looking at roughly $3,500 a month hitting your checking account. That is your actual reality, $3,500 a month. Now, let's apply the silent tax of the last few years, inflation. $60,000 today has the same purchasing power as $46,000 did just a decade ago. Your dollar simply buys less of everything. It's like stepping onto a treadmill that slowly increases its speed while you are trying to maintain a steady jog. Eventually, you're sprinting just to stay in the exact same place. That's what your paycheck has been doing. The second layer is where the real damage happens. Let's look at the big three expenses: housing, transportation, and food. Financial experts have always preached the 30% rule. You shouldn't spend more than 30% of your gross income on rent or a mortgage. On a $60,000 salary, that means your housing should cost no more than $1,500 a month. Have you looked at the rental market lately? In a massive portion of the country, finding a decent one-bedroom apartment for $1,500 is nearly impossible. So, you spend $2,000. Right out of the gate, your budget is fractured. Then comes transportation. Used car prices surged, interest rates climbed, and insurance premiums skyrocketed. The average monthly car payment for a used vehicle is now over $500. Add in gas and insurance, and you are easily burning $800 a month just to get to the job that pays you $60,000. Finally, we have food. The cost of eating at home has jumped dramatically. You aren't buying steak and lobster, you're buying eggs, bread, and chicken breasts. But that standard grocery run now eats up another $400 to $500 a month. Let's do the math on your $3,500 take-home pay. $2,000 for rent, $800 for the car, $500 for food. That is $3,300 gone. You have $200 left for the entire month. This brings us to the third layer. We used to warn people about lifestyle creep. That is the idea that as you make more money, you buy fancier things. But what people making $60,000 are experiencing today isn't lifestyle creep, it's survival creep. You aren't going broke because you're buying designer clothes or going on European vacations. You are running out of money because the absolute baseline cost of shelter, food, and mobility has consumed your entire middle-class wage. This leaves absolutely zero margin for error. If your car needs new brakes, or you have an unexpected medical bill, that $200 buffer is instantly wiped out. So, what happens? You reach for the credit card. This is why credit card debt in America has hit record highs. It's not a nationwide crisis of financial irresponsibility. It is a systemic reliance on plastic just to bridge the gap between a middle-class salary and middle-class survival. Okay, so what does this actually mean for you? First, it means you need to drop the guilt. If you are making $60,000 and struggling, you need to hear this. You are not failing. You are playing a game where the rules were quietly changed while you were on the field. Recognizing that the math is stacked against you is the first step toward taking control. Second, it means the old, conventional financial advice no longer applies to your situation. Skipping a morning coffee purchase won't bridge a $1,000 gap in your rent. You have to start looking at structural changes in your own life. That might mean getting a roommate when you never thought you'd need one in your 30s. It might mean selling the financed car and buying a highly reliable, older vehicle in cash. Or it might mean treating your $60,000 job as a stepping stone, relentlessly upskilling, and aggressively hunting for a role that pays $80,000 or $90,000. The era of comfortable complacency at 60 grand is over. The middle class hasn't disappeared, but the price of admission has gone up. $60,000 is a lot of money, but it is no longer the destination. It is merely a checkpoint. You have to decide what your next move is going to be to stay ahead of the treadmill. Will you try to shrink your life to fit the math, or will you find a way to expand your income to fit your life? If this decoded something for you, hit subscribe. We break down a new one every week.